Hello, friends. So let's talk about the Iran war and what is happening out there and how is that impacting our financials. What am I looking out for right now and all that kind of good stuff. So I'll share all of those insights with you. But first, let's get this microphone turned on. Should have done that before starting the video. Hopefully it will still work. Let's see if it works. Yeah, there we go. I think the audio will be a little bit better now. So first of all, I had shared some strategies with you guys yesterday. I implemented a couple of them and they worked out very well. So if you implemented the strategy yesterday, you should be up around 100% this morning. And the second strategy was related to with VIX, which I posted this morning. I have already warned you yesterday, but I executed this morning when VIX approached 30, so I shorted it, and I think now it's down to about 22. Hopefully, it'll come down to 18 or something, and then I'll close that trade as well. So between those two trades, you should have made nice money out of this volatility. And this is not going to end anytime soon, so I'm going to talk about some of my thoughts on that. Now, before I begin, I'm not an investment advisor. I don't tell you what you should do or what you maybe want to do. I kind of share what I am thinking, what's going through my head, what am I planning on doing. So whatever I say, just only use it as educational or entertainment purposes only. And try to discredit it. If it doesn't make sense, if you don't like the logic or whatever, then try to discredit it and go like, hey, this is why this is wrong. Because if we debate it, we can find a better answer together. All right, so now that we get out of that way, let's move forward. All right, so number one, gold. So we talked about that when the oil prices go up, cost of mining the gold goes up, and then oil is an input cost to pretty much everything. So when oil prices go up, most assets typically take a hit because automatically we assume that the cost of doing business is going to go up. So that's a direct impact. So what you're feeling in the market right now is mostly related to oil prices. That's not everything, but that has a lot to do with it. Number two, dollar index. So you probably saw that the dollar index started to go up. When dollar index goes up, typically the gold starts to fall. Not for long, but at least for the temporary. And that is what you're seeing right now in the gold prices. Gold prices were up a lot, I think, last night, and now they have cooled down. Actually, they dropped, I think, this morning almost 5.5%. Maybe they recovered a little bit just right now. So that is what you're seeing in gold as well. Third thing we're seeing is this trade war starting to kind of show up again. Why? For example, first UK was not really allowing the United States to use its bases, and now Spain is not allowing them, so they had to move all their infrastructure out of Spain. And in response to that, President Trump says, hey, if you're not going to allow us to use your bases, then we're just not going to do trade with you. So again, the trade war is turned on. So it seems like with President Trump, it's everything or nothing kind of a deal. Like either you do it my way or the highway. And now comes the most important question. What is happening with oil? Because that impacts everything right now. And we'll talk a little bit about Iran as well. Now this is a private video, so I'm not going to post it on YouTube, but maybe at some point in future, if I do make it public, then please know if you want to reach out to me, just go to taxcodeadvisors.com and you can reach out to me from there. So this Strait of Hormuz, right? That's what the real question is, because that is in direct line of sight of Iran, and Iran can take a lot of action on that. Now, President Trump started to talk about that. That look, we already killed all their navy, so they have no capacity. And then on top of that, we have already, attacked all their senior leadership, so that is gone. United States have now also taken out their manufacturing facilities, so those are really out and all that kind of good stuff. So President Trump is saying that, hey, for the most part, Iran just simply doesn't have capability to do any major damage. However, if you are an insurance company that provides insurance for these ships, would you insure the ship in such environment? Think about that for a second. We saw this kind of story back at 9/11. Remember those condo insurances? They refused to pay. They go like, hey, this act of terrorism is not covered by insurance. So similarly, the situation in Iran is actually a war, even though President Trump and his administration don't want to call it war. But from an insurance point of view, it is war. And they're saying, look, we will cover it, but we're going to charge you significantly more for that insurance. And once that price reaches a certain level, it just economically doesn't really make sense for ship companies to operate in that region. My guess is maybe within a day or two, President Trump will announce that United States will provide protection to the ships, because I think we are very, very close to be able to do so. So once that happens, once he makes that announcement, oil prices will come down. And once the oil prices to come down, VIX will certainly, it's already down. I think VIX was 30 this morning, it's already down to 22. So VIX will certainly come down along with it. And that should provide support back into gold, silver, and all the other trades, and markets should bounce at least for the short term. That is what I'm seeing right now. Now, let's talk a little bit more longer time frame. And to understand that, we need to see, well, what are the objectives? Now, we have heard from Trump administration what the objectives are. But if you think about what Iran actions are, so Iran is firing whatever they got randomly. At least it seems like randomly, all different places. They're going all over. They're not like all targeted at the United States, at least not the military. They're going out after embassy, hotels, and all kind of targets in all different countries. Now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to show the world that United States cannot provide you protection. That is their goal. I don't think Iran is trying to fight with the US, because they know they cannot win this war. They cannot really win the war against US in terms of military. But there is a chance that they can win narrative war against United States. And you guys know narrative is even bigger than the war itself. The United States learned that lesson recently in Afghanistan. They were there for almost 10 years. And, after 10 years, they basically had to run away and leave all the equipments there. And there were all those pictures that we saw everywhere on the media. And it was pretty embarrassing for the United States. That's the narrative Afghanistan got. Now, can Afghanistan win war against the United States? Of course not. But the narrative war, they, I think, certainly won against the United States. Those pictures are still haunting us in our dreams, if you really care, right? So Iran is trying to do the same thing. They're saying that, what if we continue to attack these countries? And by the way, all these countries, they have all the equipment from the United States. So technically speaking, they should not be having any damage, because United States equipment should be protecting them, because that's what we tell the world. We say, look, we have the best equipment out there. They provide you, all the protection that you need. If United States cannot change that narrative, and change that narrative means that basically every single person in Iran surrenders. So they say, look, okay, we give up. Sorry. You decide what you want to do. And they're able to completely change the regime. And we'll talk about that if that happens. Then the narrative will change. But if we just come back and say, look, we killed the senior leadership, we got rid of their weapons, we got rid of their manufacturing equipment, we did all that. But then we would have left this narrative that United States cannot protect the people or the countries that are expecting protection from the US. That is going to be a big story. And if that happens, then those countries obviously going to think other ways. And what are the other ways? Better relationship with China, better relationship with Iran, trying to manage this risk other ways, not really so much be in the US camp. So it can have a pretty bad effect on the United States. So it is extremely important that United States actually does succeed in changing the regime and establishes a new peaceful government in Iran at this point. If we fail to do that, we will have some major consequences. And I think that's the reason that President Trump is now thinking that, hey, maybe we stay there a little bit longer. Maybe, just maybe, we have to put boots on the ground because it's not going to be as simple as just, bombing a few places and just kind of, get out. Okay, sorry, I had to take this cut because my memory card got full and I had to delete the old videos and get the camera rolling again. But while I was rolling, I happened to see a message from President Trump that he is ready to provide protection for the oil tankers in the region, and that should help with bringing the oil prices down. So it looks like I was not able to even post the video, and that tweet is already out there. But he just posted, so I'm assuming market will take some time to reflect on that. But I was talking to you about the long term. So what am I thinking long term? See, if President Trump is able to accomplish what he's trying to do, which is to actually have a regime that is friendly to the United States, that is friendly to the neighborhood, that is, not really involved in so much of terrorism and other kind of bad things out there. If he's able to successfully do that, that would be a big help in many ways. Number one, it's going to make all the people in the region feel more safe. So that's good. Number two, those people will say that the United States will take action when necessary and win that war. So that's good for the U.S. Number three, you can imagine now United States get to control the oil in Iran. And that is a big deal, right? Whether you like it or not, United States now control oil in Venezuela. Now they control oil in Iran. That puts a lot of pressure on China. I mean, and that's one of the main goals President Trump have is to continue to put that pressure on Russia and China. And he will be able to accomplish that goal if he's able to take control of Iran. So that's third reason. Fourth reason will be investments. Obviously that country going to require a lot of investment. So United States companies can go out there and rebuild the country, and I think they will be prosperous and they will make a lot of money because they have a lot of oil revenue. So that is good for U.S. businesses, and it's also good for Iranian people, and they will be able to do business with the United States as well. So I think if he's able to successfully achieve what he needs to do, which is really not so much a military victory, but a narrative victory. If he's able to achieve that, I think that is going to have a major ramifications over the world for many, many years. So this is what I'm thinking about the market. But remember always, over the longer term, this is just a minor setback. Markets will correct. They will come right back up. But in the meanwhile, it will be a little volatile. So if you want a little trader here and there, you can make money, kind of like what we did yesterday and what we did today. So, not too much, not too crazy, maybe 5%, 10% here and there, just to kind of make sure we stay afloat. We don't take on any water, and and then things will move on. One thing I will tell you is that wars are expensive. They cost a lot of money. And then on top of that, President Trump still have that tariffs that were, announced illegal by the Supreme Court. So he still needs to pay that money back. Who he pays it back, when he pays back, nobody knows. But one thing you got to keep in mind is that all those lawsuits going to ask for interest on those monies, and they might even ask for legal costs. So all of that cost is also growing. So we got this war cost, we got those tariff costs, all of that can come back and haunt the United States, and all roads will lead to only one thing, which is more money printing. So that's what I'm thinking right now. I hope you guys find it helpful. If you disagree with any of this stuff or you have a better explanation, then I'm here to debate this with you guys, and let's take it. Again, don't forget, we're going to have our discussion call on this Sunday, so we'll talk more about this stuff and what else is happening in the market. In the meanwhile, enjoy. It's just a ride. That's how the financial markets are, and I hope that innocent people don't get killed, and this situation get resolved as soon as possible, and everybody gets to go back home happily. I do wish that all our troops who are right now in Iran all come back safely. I pray for them. So with those feelings, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.